we'll crack on because I
Cool.
just want to get to other people rather than me spout on bollocks. I've already done 7 minutes of that. So good. 5 movies that mean the world to you and your family. So I know there's going to be some personal stories in here, and I want to get to them. It can be extended family. It can be friends as well. If you consider friends family as well, I'm not going to get really strict on it. It's just I want to hear about why they mean so much to you and your family. And okay, let me give you an example. This one's a bit basic, and it might come up in other people's. Again, the rule is you can do what you want. If I say or anyone says a selection that you've chosen, you can stick to your guns, which we love it when you do that, or you're more than welcome to change it. Number 5, basic but beautiful and true, is Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring, with my dad. And I don't know if this was true of other people. And again, obviously, people of different ages and different relationships. But that was the one where I started going back to the cinema with my dad again. And it was always for the Lord of the Rings movies. And then it became things like Dunkirk, and we went to watch Free Solo in IMAX. And that all came from, we hadn't been to the cinema together for years. But Lord of the Rings meant so much to him growing up. And it's the first time, I'm sure other people have had this experience as well. He turned to me, he never spoke ever during a movie. The first time he ever did was 10 minutes into Fellowship of the Ring. And he said, it's just how I imagined it in my head, that's the gold dust. That's what we're all here for. Okay, so now, okay, number 5 was a big popular movie blockbuster that most people have heard of. Are people familiar with the cult classic 90s family action movie Suburban Commando?
Yes.
Oh God. Starring everybody's favorite racist wrestler.
Yes. So Hulk Hogan had I think Mr. Nanny came after that.
Yep.
But Suburban Commando was the first one. It wasn't a PG. I think it was a 12 actually over here.
It was a PG over here. It was a PG over here.
It may even have been a PG, but because of the front cover, which if you haven't seen it, is Hulk Hogan basically tooled up, looking like Johnny Matrix from Commando. My parents wouldn't let me get it out, even though it might have been a PG, or I might have been 12, but that was the one they wouldn't let me because it had him on the front cover, and it's called Suburban Commando. And I haven't gone back and seen it recently. I don't know if I need to, but that one was. I think I'm approaching this in terms of watershed moments, or watershed movies that kind of either my parents were a part of, or that they facilitated by allowing me to see it. So that's my number 4. Oh God. All right, number 3. I've told this story before. I'll keep it brief. The only movie that has ever made me physically sick, and still actually makes me feel sick when I think about it, is Ace Ventura: Pet Detective 2, Call of the Wild.
When Nature Calls in the States.
When Nature Calls.
I don't know what it's called over there, but are you talking about the scene where he comes out of the rhino's nest?
Yeah. So again, a little bit of context. I went to see that with my mother, and it was the day before I was going to my new high school, and we'd kind of gone shopping and got bits and pieces for school. And she said, "Do you want to?" Went and had lunch. Now I'm not saying the Chiquitos in Port Solent are responsible for my food poisoning, because I remember starting to be sick the moment he started crawling out of the anus of that fake rhinoceros. And I didn't stop until I got home, I don't think. Watching that movie with your mother. Number 2, another one with my mother in particular, but we do now do as a family because I make them. It's Muppets Christmas Carol. It would be at number 1, but number 1 is number 1 because it is. But number 2 is Muppets Christmas Carol. I remember the first time having to nudge my mum because she fell asleep during the bit with Michael Caine singing. But now it's just become a staple every Christmas. So, Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring at 5. 4 was Suburban Commando. Ace Ventura 2 at 3. Muppets Christmas Carol. Number 1 is Batman. Michael Keaton's first Batman. I've told the story before, but it genuinely is the whole experience of my parents kind of on a school night telling us to get into bed, but we had to put your dressing gowns and slippers on. Didn't say anything else. They were very good at building tension, my parents. And then we were allowed to come down at 9 o'clock, and we were like 9 o'clock. Sat down, and they didn't even tell us what it was. They just turned the TV on, and the opening credits of Tim Burton's Batman came on, and without that there would be none of this. So yeah, that's me. That's my 5. All done.